Hi, Mike.
Hello, how are you doing?
Great. So, how did you get started in the pool industry?
I had recently got out of the sign business and was looking for what I was going to do next. And I had a buddy that was in the pool business, and he got me into servicing and pools. So I built up a route, and that's how I got started in the pool business.
What made you realize most homeowners need independent guidance during a pool build?
So I would say that's multiple things. Um, just realizing um, that homeowners don't really understand everything that's going on with building a pool and what's involved. And also just to help homeowners realize that something that's too good to be true probably is too good to be true. Um, an example of that is that when I was building pools in Florida, um, my partner was selling a pool to a client of ours, and the client had this really low-ball pool offer. And my partner, looked it over, and he basically told the person that he was selling to, he says, I don't care whether you buy from me or not, but don't buy from this guy because he can't build the pool for the cost that he's bidding you. We know what it costs. We know what it costs to dig a hole up the ground. We know what it costs to put steel in the ground. We know what it costs to get on a pool. There was just no way that this pool could be built for that cost. And this person ended up going with that particular customer and got taken for about $40,000. Never even got the pool dug. It's I want to help homeowners look for those red flags. In this particular instance, this person defrauded customers in Florida of about $2.5 million. He sold 104 pools. He completed 3 of them. He is basically running a Ponzi scheme. He used those initial down payments he got, and he built those first 2 or 3 pools, and he did a pretty good job on them. So he had those referrals. But then he had his draw schedule so that he took 20% down. And then he took 30% when the hole was dug, and he took 20% if he got to gut. That's 60 or 70% of the pool. At that point, no more than 50% should have been collected. So he was collecting so much money in draws up front that that's how he was doing it. He was funding his Ponzi scheme. So anyway, it's those sort of things that led me to look at this sort of business where I'm helping people who are looking to get a pool built. I'm giving them support they need. I'm giving them that help they need to make sure that they make good decisions.
What's your background outside of pool construction?
So I graduated from Texas Tech in 1992 with an electrical engineering degree. I went into telecom. I spent 10 years in telecom. I was a mid-level manager, had about 100 people working on me when the dot-com bust hit, and, ultimately got laid off. But I also have an MBA in business, so that gives me a great foundation to, understand business and understand how different things work.
What separates a well-engineered pool from a pool that just looks good on Instagram?
So there's lots of things involved. I mean, the simplest thing is did they put the proper size piping in? Is the plumbing big enough? Is the equipment big enough? Is the filter big enough? Another instance I can give is that when I moved to Florida, I bought a pool that had been built in the pandemic. There were massive equipment shortages in the pandemic, not just due to the pandemic and this huge number of pools being built, but that same year the freeze hit in Texas and destroyed a huge amount of pool equipment in Texas. Equipment vendors weren't equipped to deal with a doubling of number of pools being built in the same year that 20% of the pools in Texas basically needed all new equipment. So I got this pool, and they did a really good job constructing the pool. However, the equipment was wrong. They put in a huge pump, the smallest filter available, and undersized piping at the equipment bay. So basically, I had to clean the filter 2 or 3 times a week when the leaves were falling and when it was the dirty season, basically. And it was basically probably the pool had been engineered correctly. They just couldn't get the right equipment. Now, they still should have put the right piping size in. I mean, that's just fundamentally wrong. They had the right pipe size. I know, because there was right pipe size in other parts of the pool. But it basically made the pool unusable until I went in and replaced the filter with a proper sized filter. And these are the things, as a homeowner, they don't know. They don't know, does it need a 100 square foot filter or 300 square foot filter? And unless you've built pools, you really don't know. And so those are the types of things I think I can offer to a customer, the experience that, helps them through the process and make sure that they don't get a pool that doesn't service them for the next 10 years.